All right, so you want to unlock that creative genius we all have hiding in us somewhere.
Yeah.
Those aha moments when a brilliant solution just kind of pops into your head.
Oh, absolutely.
We're diving into that today with some really practical tips to help you have more of those breakthroughs.
And you know what I find fascinating? It's not just about finding any solution, it's about finding the best solution.
Oh, for sure.
Those innovative, out of the box ideas, the kind that really give you an edge.
That's like that feeling when you're stuck, working on a puzzle and then suddenly, bam, you see the pieces in a whole new way.
Exactly. And honestly, one of the most powerful tools we have for getting there is brainstorming. But I'm not talking about those stuffy corporate brainstorming sessions. I'm talking about really tapping into that raw creativity, just letting the ideas flow.
So more like a free-for-all of ideas. No judgment.
Precisely. The key is to detach from judging your own ideas, at least initially. Aim for quantity over quality in those early stages. Yeah, you'd be surprised how often a seemingly ridiculous idea sparks something truly innovative.
I can totally see that. It's like that old saying, the best way to have a good idea is to have a lot of ideas.
Exactly. I remember working on this project a while back, and we were just totally stuck.
Been there.
Right. And then, out of nowhere, someone throws out the most ridiculous suggestion almost as a joke.
Okay.
But here's the thing. It got us thinking in a totally new direction.
Oh.
And that led us straight to a breakthrough solution.
Isn't it amazing how that works? It makes me think about how important diverse perspectives are for creative problem solving.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if everyone in the room thinks alike, you're going to get stuck in the same old ruts. But when you bring in diverse perspective,
Things start to happen.
yes, you get fresh ways of seeing the problem and wildly different solutions that you might never have considered.
It's like building a team. If everyone on your team has the same strengths and weaknesses,
Right.
you're not going to get very far.
Not very far at all.
But if you have a team with a variety of skills, experiences,
No, you're talking.
you can tackle any challenge.
Exactly. There's a great method for encouraging this called 6 thinking hats. Each hat represents a different thinking style.
Oh, interesting.
So by putting on these metaphorical hats, teams can break free from habitual thought patterns and approach problems from multiple angles.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
So we're brainstorming, we're gathering diverse viewpoints,
Yeah.
but let's say we're still feeling stuck. What happens then? What's the next step?
Well, our brains are pretty incredible, right?
Right. Amazing things.
Even when we're not consciously thinking about a problem, our subconscious mind is still working on it in the background.
Like it never takes a break.
Exactly. So taking a break, whether it's a walk, listening to music, or even just shifting your focus for a bit,
Yeah.
it allows those subconscious connections to form.
It's like hitting the refresh button on your brain,
Yeah.
Giving yourself some space to breathe and let those ideas marinate.
Precisely. And sometimes we need to go even further. We need to challenge our assumptions.
What does that look like in practice?
Okay, so imagine you're trying to make a process at work more efficient.
Right.
Instead of assuming the current way is the only way,
Yeah, yeah.
question everything. What if you had to start from scratch? What would you do differently?
It's about disrupting your thinking, getting out of that comfort zone.
It is. It reminds me of this study I read about where they had designers solve a problem. But here's the catch. They could only use materials found in a kindergarten classroom.
Wait, what? That's so interesting.
Right. And the results were amazing. By forcing themselves to think outside their usual constraints,
That makes sense, though.
they unlocked a whole new level of creativity. They had to challenge their assumptions about what they needed to solve the problem.
That's such a good point.
Yeah.
And finally, the source we're diving into today really emphasizes continuous learning and curiosity.
Yes. Think of your mind like a well. If you only ever draw from the same well, eventually it's going to run dry.
That's a great analogy.
But if you keep adding fresh water from new experiences, from learning, from exploring, that well of creativity will always be overflowing.
So true. What are some ways our listeners can actively cultivate that curiosity? Keep that creative well full.
The possibilities are endless. Read books outside of your field, listen to podcasts on topics you know nothing about, take a class, travel to new places,
Yes.
talk to people with different perspectives, just engage with the world.
You've given us so much to think about today. So for everyone listening, remember this. Becoming a creative powerhouse isn't about some, magical inborn talent.
No.
It's about adopting the right mindset and practicing these techniques.
Absolutely. It's like building a muscle. The more you flex those creative problem-solving muscles, the stronger they become.
Love it. So go out there, embrace those aha moments, and never stop exploring.
Never stop.